everyone, today's video is about the introduction of the new tools of our Ginger software. In the future, we are gonna use this new version of software for all our future projects. The new tools are really helpful for us to draw the multi-layers much quickly and efficiently and also accurately. So hopefully everybody watch this video very carefully to help you understand the new tools. I'm super believe that after you get used to the new tools, you can draw very quickly for all the multi-layer buildings without any errors. Okay, let's start. First of all, I will go through the outline of today's video first. So, first one, I will introduce the advantages of the new tools. Then, I will introduce the principles of multi-layer, or we call 3D buildings in dense area. So now our existing drawing method, or we can say the old drawing method, is a father and son relationship. Now, when we use our new tools, we will use the new drawing method, which is brother relationship. Then I will introduce more later. And then I will do the demo of the new tools. So the new tools are mainly about three tools. It's about the trace tool, the alt dragging tool, and the copy and paste sideward direction tool. I will do very specific and clear demo of the new functions, so you guys will know how to correctly use the tools to help you to increase your efficiency and accuracy. And the last point is I will share the skills of increasing your speed and accuracy. There are some basic guidelines that can actually and really help you to do much more quicker. Okay, now let's go to the advantages of the new tools. So the new tools can assist users drawing multi-layer buildings correctly and easily. So the new tools can help you to automatically create sidewall. So basically, you don't need to drag so many sidewalls by yourself one by one. The software can help you. And then you can easily to repair or fix the errors for existing multi-layer buildings without redrawing it. So previously, when we find some errors, we need to maybe delete and then redraw. That would be very complicated, but now you don't need to do so. You just can do very quick repair and don't need to redraw at all. It will help us to save a lot of time. And then a very important part is it will help users avoid topology errors. So when we draw multi-layer buildings in our old software, then sometimes we easily to draw the topology errors because we easily to have some overlap or gap or some unpredictable errors there. The new tools will help us to avoid most of the topology errors, so it saves us time again. Before I show you guys the new tools, we need to know the principles of the multi-layer or 3D buildings in dense area. So all adjacent buildings, they must be on the same bottom area. I know that people should know that. So when there are some adjacent buildings, which buildings are built together, then we need to make sure after we draw the 3D, their bottoms still on the same bottom areas. Okay, that means their bottom area must be no overlap and also must be no gap. Okay, so that's a basic principle of the multi-layers in dense area. So our old method is father and son relationship. I will show you what is father and son relationship. We can look at this building. You can see that the buildings have 3 layers, and we draw the top layer first, jagged sidewall, and then second layer, jagged sidewall, and then the third layer. So each lower layer totally covered the top layer. So we call this type of drawing method is father and son relationship. So these 3 layers, they are father and son. Okay, the bottom area always cover the entire top layers. Actually, based on our previous work experience, we feel that the father and son relationship sometimes made us really hard to draw a very complicated big buildings. And then it's really hard for us to figure out which part should be on the same layer, right? So now the software has a great improvement about that part. Now the software can support us to draw broader relationship, which means that we actually don't need to draw the bottom area, bottom layer to totally cover the top layer. We can draw them as different components. Also, we can draw them as brothers. So let me show you. We can look at this building. So actually this is just one building, right? But we can easily draw them brother relationship. So it's like this is the top layer. We can draw it as it looks like. And then here in the middle, there's another part, right? And then here is a third part. So we can draw them like different components, like different brothers, and then group them again to indicate that these components are for the same one building. Okay, so this is called brother relationship. Our new functions will support us to draw perfectly multi-layers by brother relationship. Okay, so the first, I think it's the most important tool, is the trace tool to help us to draw the brother relationship. The trace tool can help to draw the common and shared line between brothers to create correct sidewall automatically. This is the main function and main advantage of the trace tool. What does it mean? It means that we don't need to draw the layers one by one. We can draw just one brother first to jack the sidewall to the bottom, and then for other components, for other brothers, the software will create the sidewall automatically for you. The only requirement is that you need to draw the shared lines between the two brothers by using trace tool, and then the software will help you to finish the rest part. For example, for here, I will draw the multi-layer. It has 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. Always, we will draw from this one. We will always draw the brother, which you can see very clear sidewall. So I will start from this one. Just very quick to draw a rectangle. And then we can drag to the bottom. Okay? Yeah, about here. You can see the line here. Okay. Now, we should use the trace tool. The trace tool, the shortcut is H. So I just press H. Switch to the trace tool. And then, okay, see carefully. We can use this tool to draw any shape of the building. And we can start from any point. We can start from this point, or we can start from this point. So any point you can start. But remember, you only should use the trace tool to draw the shared line. And we also call it common line. So the common line the shared line should be the line that connects two brothers. Okay, the shared line is the line that connects the two brothers. So the line is here, obviously. Okay, so I just used trace to and then click to here, and you can see that the software will generate a red dashed line. This red dashed line is a parallel line to the bottom of the first brother. So the software helps you to find a parallel line, and then you need to follow, okay? You need to follow. So you follow this line and just stop here, right? To stop at the edge. And then now you just finish the shared line. If you want to use the right angle tool, now just switch to right angle tool. Press the shortcut F to draw right angle. And then you can see that the sidewall automatically created by the software, right? It's super easy to use. So you don't need to drag the sidewall by yourself like previously. You only need to use trace tool to draw the common line between the two brothers. And then the software will help you to create the sidewall. And then the software will help you to measure the first brother's bottom area, which are shown as the green dashed line area. And the second brother bottom area, they are on the same bottom, okay? And they have no gap. You can see the dashed line here, just one line, right? They snap to each other closely, no gap and no overlap. And now you can do any other tools as usual. So you see that there's a little bit error, then you can check the line. It's fine. You can do any like repair thing to the buildings. Now we want to finish this small part. So just find the common line, okay? Just find the common line. So the common line should be just here. So I think that the second brother and the third brother, actually they should be on the same height, right? They should be on the same same level. So I just trace from this line. So I use the trace tool again, this one. And I can draw like this. And you can see that the sign will create automatically. Then we have no worry at all to think whether we draw them to the same bottom area, whether we jack the sidewall correctly. So now it makes you to avoid the topology error and also make you to draw perfectly no overlap, no gap bottom area. Okay, so actually this is the correct footprint of the buildings. And then after that, we need to group them because we think that they are the same building. Then we group them. If you don't think they are not the same building, then it's fine. Then just leave here, right? That's super easy. We have no need to drag the sidewall anymore. The software will help you to do that. Actually, you can start to draw the building from any direction and from any point, right? So I will show you. So now maybe I just use the right angle tool. You can see that I use the right angle tool, and then I will just start from this side. Just be careful when you want to draw the shared line here. You need to switch to trace tool, okay? So always remember, if you want the software to help you draw the sidewall, always use the trace tool, okay? Because only the trace tool can guarantee that you draw a parallel line to the brothers, okay? Only the trace tool can guarantee that you draw the parallel line as the brother. So switch to trace tool and then click on this point. And then you can see that there is a red dashed line here to help you to locate the parallel line. And then again, okay, so actually it's quite easy to use. Okay, so after introduction of the trace tool, I will let you know how to use the Alt dragging tool. So this This alt dragging tool can help you adjust the building height or side wall without change building bottom area. What does it mean? It means that sometimes when you draw a multi-layer building, you might draw a wrong side wall. Then the alt dragging tool will help you to adjust the height without redraw the building or without you reject the building, and also it can guarantee that your brothers still on the same bottom area with other brothers. For example, I will use this building again. Okay, let me just draw a wrong building, okay? But I still need to use a trace tool. So maybe I will just draw here. I will not just follow the correct location. I will just start from any point I want. So I draw wrong, right? Okay, I will draw like this. So you can see that because the software will just calculate the same bottom area, because it will help you to drag to the same bottom. So if you start from this point, then you can see that the building is higher than the correct height, right? It's higher. It's too high. And this is the gap, right? This is the gap. It's a very obvious error. So you can see that the bottom area is not actually, the location is not correct, okay? So you want to fix that. You don't need to redraw it, okay? You don't need to redraw it. And, okay, so I will show you a wrong way to fix. So if you think like the shape is not correct and you just drag the line to here, and you can see, oh, the shape is correct, but actually the building height doesn't change, okay? The building's height doesn't change. It still has errors, okay? You just change the shape of the building, but you don't change the height. So how to change the height without redrawing it? That's super easy. Just select this building and then find the line you want to adjust, okay? Go to the shade line here to adjust this line here. Now press Alt, okay? Press Alt. The button on your screen, the button on your keyboard, Alt. Just press that button and then drag this line. You can see that this shade line change the color to blue, okay? And then look at the right side of the side wall. The side wall change. That means the height is changed. Okay, and then you can find the correct location and then release your mouse. Right? You can see that both your shape become perfect and also both your height also change. And also the software just lock your bottom area to make sure this building also still have the same, still have no gap and have no overlap, okay? That means just in case you draw wrong shade line, but no worry at all. As long as it is the shade line, then you can use the alt dragging tool to adjust the height, okay? If you're not using the trace tool, then it will not have this function, okay? So make sure that every time you use trace tool to draw the shade line, and then you can enjoy a lot of advantage of that, okay? So change the height. It's super easy right now, okay? And then if you draw like, for example, you draw like here, okay? That means the height is too low, right? The height is too low. So the same thing can drag it, okay? So we can drag it like this on this side, right? So make sure it has the correct height. So the alt dragging tool helps you to adjust the height, okay, after you finish drawing. You don't need to do any other fix, okay? And even you don't need to degroup your building. So now you can see that these two buildings are in group. Now I'll introduce another improvement is that when you group the building, then the outline of the shape will become like this, okay? Will become like this. It's like a thicker line and thinner line, like this. It will change the mode. So you can see that for this building, that's just normal thickness. But for this building after group, the boundary, the outline looks different, okay? It will help you to know that whether this building has been grouped or not. So after you already group the building, you still can use the Alt tool to drag the height, okay? Let me show you. Still, you need to select this building, okay? Select this one. Both two are selected because they are in group, right? No worry at all. We can also drag it. So press Alt, okay? Press Alt. And then, right, you can still drag it. So very convenient. Also, when buildings are in group, we still can use the repair tool to repair any component or any body. So if you think like this part is not just correct, like in previous software, we cannot do like repair to the building in group. We need to degroup them first, but now we don't need to do that. So just use the repair tool. I press X. So this is the right angle repair tool. And then you can see that I can adjust any of it very easily, right? I don't need to degroup them. They are still in group. So it will be much easier for us to do the repair and fix of the existing multi-layer buildings, and it will save us a lot of time. Now let's come to another example. So this example is also we can draw it by brother relationship. So for this top building, I already drag to the bottom, and then I want to draw this lower building, which was hidden, a little part, a small part here. No worry, it's so easy to draw that. So now I just switch to trace tool, and then I will start from this side, okay? Whatever which side. So I will just start from here. Now, a very important thing is here. You can see that the building was hidden, right? This part was hidden by the taller brother building, right? So it's hard for me to find the correct location. But actually, no worry at all. You can choose to draw anywhere, okay? You can click on this side, like anywhere. So I just click here, and you can see that the parallel red dashed line appear, right? And then I will just, because I will just stop here because I think the building, it will be a rectangle shape, and it should be stopped here, right? And we'll have a connection of this side. So I just stop here, and then I will switch to the right angle tool, right? I want to draw right angle, so I just switch. Okay, you can see that the software helps us to create a side wall to the same bottom area. Then these two buildings has no gap and no overlap, right? But now you realize that, oh, the height is wrong, right? The side wall is not correct. Then we can use the Alt tool to adjust the side wall, right? Just simply select this building, and then press Alt button, press Alt button, and then pressing the Alt button and also drag this shared line. You can see that the side wall is changed. So when you adjust the side wall, you just need to find the correct location. So I think, well, the location should be here, and then release your mouse. Okay? And you see that, oh, the side wall is correct now, and also the bottom still has no gap, no overlap with your brother building. Right? It's perfect. Then these two buildings we just finished. And such easy way, and you just need to draw the top structure, right? And then the software will help you to jack to the bottom, and also you can just adjust the height very freely. And finally, no topology error, okay? Finally, no topology error. And the software will help you to avoid such annoying mistakes. Now, no gap, no overlap. You can draw a perfect, correct result. Also, some people here might be curious about, then how about for those buildings with a top layer in the middle? You also can draw father and son relationship, okay? For a layer in the middle, the only option for you is to draw the father and son relationship, okay? For example, like for this building, let me just delete this one to see clearly, okay? You might think this is the top layer, right? It might be a top layer, right? So our old way is just to draw this one. So because this one is on the top, right? And you can just use the simple rectangle tool to draw a box, right? Like this. And then because you're not using the trace tool, so it won't drag the sidewall to the bottom. So actually it will be on the top layer, and then the second layer you drag to the bottom, right? And then you just, it's just the same as before. You can just group them, right? So actually you can still use the tool to draw the father and son relationship, like in an old way, okay? So I'm gonna show you another example. Like for this building, actually for such like a building, they are very close to each other and they have no gap here, right? No gap. So we need to draw the top building, which you can see the entire sidewalk clearly to determine the bottom, okay? So I will draw this building first, and then drag to the bottom, okay? And then drag to the bottom. And then I will draw the brother building, okay? Now I will use the trace tool. Maybe we'll start from here. And then also, when you touch the, when you're gonna touch the brother, the existing brother, and then actually we can draw it at any part. So I think they have a connection at this part. And then we'll just follow the red line. Okay, and then I switch to right angle tool because I already finished the shade line, right? So I can use other tool to finish the building. Now you can see that they drag to the same bottom area. Okay, now I want to draw a wrong shape for that. So we should stop there, but just let me to draw very exaggerate wrong shape, okay? Now I'm using the right angle tool, but I can switch to trace tool, okay? Now I switch to trace tool by press H, and then I stop here. It goes with the red line, and then I follow the red line, and you know that. Now you can see that this point should be here because this edge will have a connection with this edge at this point, right? The connection is at this point. And then, okay, after I finish the shade line, okay? After I finish the shade line, like these two lines, I can switch to right angle tool again. Okay, so now the software draw you a sidewall automatically. But you see that, well, the same, you can see that the sidewall is wrong, right? The sidewall is wrong, so I need to adjust the shade line. So now you can see that we have two shade lines, right? Let me adjust the shape a little bit. Okay, you can see that we have two shade lines, right? So actually, you can adjust any of the lines. They have the same effect, okay? They have the same effect. So if I drag this line, you can see that I'm pressing Alt button, you can see that the height is changing, okay? So any part of the shape of this building are not changed. Only the shaded line is changed, right? Only the shaded line is changed. So we can just drag to the correct area, maybe like this, and then release your mouse. Then you can see that it has the perfect shape now. And also correct side wall, right? We can go back and we can adjust this line. The same thing happened. You can see that I can drag this line as well to have the same results. Okay? So actually we have so many freedom to use the Alt tool. As long as you are dragging the shade line between two borders, okay? As long as you drag the shade line between two borders. As long as the shade line was drawn by the trace tool, okay? Then you can do whatever you want. Now, we also finished this two building perfectly. Now, I want to show you another more complicated example. So for this big building, it will be much easier to draw by brother relationship than by father relationship, because it has so many layers, and sometimes for father and son relationship, you don't know which layers are on the same layer, right? You need to take time to evaluate that. But for brother relationship, you don't need to do such evaluation. You just need to follow the rules, follow the workflow, and draw the brothers one by one, okay? So actually, the first thing is to determine the first brother who can decide the bottom area. So we need to find the brother who can see the clear side wall. So for this one, we can choose this brother, right? Okay, so I will just rectangle and then drag to bottom, to here. Now the software knows that this bottom area is locked, okay? This bottom area is locked. And then we can start to draw your other brothers. So we can start from the component for the brothers which have the shaded line here with the first brother. So you can see that we have so many brothers. So maybe this one, right? This one, and this bigger one, and this thinner layer, and also this layer. So you can see that this layer has no shaded line with the first brother, right? It's too far away. So we always should start from the nearest brother with the first brother, okay? We always should start from the nearest brother. So I start from this brother. Oh, sorry, it's for brother, not father, okay? So we always need to start from the nearest brother. So we use the trace tool and to draw this shape. And then you can see that it drags to the bottom directly, right? And then we draw this shape. Also the same. Because this is nearest brother, right? This is nearest brother, so again, trace tool. And then switch to right angle tool. Yeah, you can see that software will help you to drag to the same bottom, okay? Help you to drag to the same bottom. Now I want to introduce another function of the software. So when we draw for a bigger building with many components, then you might see that this is the transparent mode, right? It's the transparent mode. So you will see a lot of the red dashed line, which should be hidden actually, right? But we just displayed it to let you see the transparent shape of the 3D building. But actually we can close that. So we can just press Q. It will change to a normal view. The normal view means that it will simulate the real world situation. You only can see the side of the visible side of the building, okay? So for the building, you only can see this side, and this side, right? So you only can see the visible side of this building. Then it's more clean, right? It's more clear. And also for this too, right? So actually these two modes are just the difference of display, but all the functions should be the same. You can use any tools like under both of the mode. It just depends on you which mode you prefer, okay? So you can use this normal 3D view, or you can press Q to view from the transparent view, okay? From the transparent view. So now, okay, I'll use the, just this time use the normal 3D view. Okay, now after this, the third border, I want to draw this border, okay? To draw this L-shaped border, right? So the same thing, I need to follow the, I need to use the trace tool to draw the common line, okay? To draw the common line. So the common line is this line, right? And then I use edge tool, edge, and then I will start from this point. So any point you can also start from this point or this point, like any point you want. Okay, I will start from this point then. And then when you touch your border, okay, when you use the trace tool to touch your border, it will show you, okay, it will show you the transparent line, the hidden line, okay, the hidden side of your border building, okay. So it's just help you to look more clearly. So I want to use the trace tool to trace the common line. So the trace tool will help you. You can trace from the left side, and then also you can trace from the right side. So for this situation, we want to trace the inner side, right? We want to trace the inner side. So I need to determine the direction. So I need to click a second point here or here, anywhere you want, but just click between the first line and the first point and the second connection point, okay? So any point here is fine, or maybe here is fine, okay? So in this area, now I will click this connection point, and then the trace tool will know that you want to trace from this direction, okay? I will repeat that again. So use the trace tool, and then click the second point, and then the trace tool will know that you want to trace from the right direction. And then you don't need to click those connection points one by one by yourself, okay? I didn't do that. I just stopped. I just stopped to the point I want to stop. Then the software will finish all the drawing by for you, okay, by the tracing tool. So this trace tool can help you to trace more than one building. You can see that first we trace the this border, and then we trace this border, and then finally we will stop on the first border, right? So it can help you to trace all of your border, okay? It can help you to trace all of your borders. So after this, and then here is not a share line, right? I can switch to normal right angle tool or normal drawing tool, okay? Okay, right angle tool. Okay, then finish. You can see that it go to the same bottom area again, okay? It go to the same bottom area again. Under the normal 3D view, when your mouse touch the building, okay, it will just show you the transparent mode only for that building, okay. Now I switch to the transparent mode, and you can see that this border we draw, they also go to the same bottom area with all the previous three borders, okay. Now we want to draw this border, right? Again, we can just use the trace tool and to start from any point. So when you can only use the trace tool to draw for the share line, and use any other tool you like to draw other boundary, okay? So I want to draw perfect right angle. So now I just use the right angle tool. Okay, and also for here, it's a little bit dark, so you don't know where to stop. No worry at all. You can just draw anywhere you want and then just adjust the height later. So we just start like I would just start by using a right angle tool, but not for the common for the shade line. So I just follow the obvious edge I can see, and then to here I would just switch to the trace tool. Now I press H to draw the trace tool. So when we gonna draw the shade line here, for here you don't know where you should stop, no worry at all. For example, I will just start here. Okay, I will just stop here, and then I will follow the red line, and then finish the drawing, and eject to the same bottom area. I can open transparent to see. So it seems like I draw correctly because you can see that the bottom area almost correct. Okay, it will help you to draw to the same bottom area, but you might check the side wall to see whether the height is correct. So after clearly checking it's a little bit lower, then I want to adjust the height to bigger height. So I will just use the Alt dragging tool to adjust the height, right? A little bit like this. And then the side wall, I think is better now, right? And then, okay, I will draw the last component, okay, the last border. That's the same thing. I will use the trace tool, and then the same thing. I don't know where is the shade line because this border was hidden by the taller border, right? Don't worry, we just need to use the trace tool. We can stop anywhere. For example, I just stop here, and you can see the red parallel lines appear. I just need to follow it, right? And I want to just to stop here, right? Because this boundary has a connection point here. So I just stop here. Then you can see that, right? And then it was dragged to the same bottom area perfectly. And then if you think like, oh, this layer must be much lower, right? And then, yeah, for sure, we can adjust. So we can adjust any of the shade line, okay? We can choose any of the shade line to drag. So you can see, I think it's not that height. So I just change a little bit like this. Yeah, it looks more reasonable. I believe that yeah. No worry at all. For such ambiguous case, just make it reasonable, right? No matter how you adjust your height, the software will help you to lock the bottom area. They're always on the same bottom area, okay? So now we can group them. Okay, so later, if you find out it has some error, okay, you don't need to degroup. You can just alter the shape, alter any border at any time, okay? For example, I want to change the height of this border. I can just click and then find the shade line, right? And then press Alt to change. You can see that. I can change any time. If I want to change this one, same thing. Find the shade line here and to change, right? No matter how you change, the software will make sure you go to the same bottom area. No gap, no overlap. And maybe you want to change this one, right? And we can shift any of the shade line. Why we can do that? Because once we determine the bottom area from the first border, then all of the border will use trace tool to draw the parallel lines, right? And then all go to the same bottom. And then now, no matter how we change their share line, they still have the parallel line with each other. And the software will just lock the bottom area and let you be freely to adjust the height. Okay, and let you be freely to adjust the height. So that would be super easy for us to fix or adjust the multi-layers if you find there are any errors. Okay, but try to avoid to fix that, because actually when you draw that, you should try to draw it like correctly for every try, right? So if you draw the brothers like everyone like correctly for every time, then actually you don't need to do any fix at all. But if you just draw them by mistake, it's still easy for you to fix, right? Okay, now let's just go to the third new tool. It's the copy and paste sidewall direction from one building to another building. So this tool will help to easy to fix gap between adjacent buildings. And this tool will easy to fix gap between your neighbor buildings. So when we need to use this tool, that's when you need to fix two buildings when they have a different sidewall direction. Okay, so when they have different sidewall direction, you don't need to reject the sidewall. You just need to copy and paste the sidewall from one building to another one, and then you made them have the same direction. Then you can fix them very easily. So let me show you. Okay, let me use this building as an example. Okay, so you can see that the first building is drawing like correctly, and this building is drawn wrong, right? And also they have different sidewall direction. And also this line, okay, actually we need to draw a shear line between these two buildings to make them perfectly connect to each other and have the same bottom area. But now you can see that they have different direction of the sidewall, and also they have no shear line, right? How to create a shear line for two existing buildings? So now you can see that, maybe you can say, I can just drag the line, right? And then reject the sidewall to the same bottom. But how you know when you drag the point, you can make sure this line become the shear line, right? This line, how you make sure this line become parallel to the bottom area. If there are not parallel lines, you cannot drag them to the same bottom area, right? So the new function solves this problem for you. Okay, so now first of all, we need to let them have the same direction of the sidewall, right? Once you make them have the same direction, then the software will know that you want to draw them as a broader relationship. Then the software will help you, okay? So now we just click the first building. You think the sidewall is correct. And then we can use the setting tool of the direction, which is this tool. I believe that everybody is very familiar with this. The shortcut is 3. So click the first building and then press 3. That means the direction is copied, okay? And then we select the second building, and then we use this tool. It's adjust wall, also means paste. So shortcut is 6. So just press 6. And then you can see that the sidewall just adjusts to exactly the same as his brother, right? And then now the software know that you want to make them has a broader relationship. Then you will see what happened. Because these two have the same direction, and the first building, it has a fixed height, right? Already has a height. And the second one also has a height already. Then the software will know that where is the correct shared line location to make them snap to each other, okay? The software will know that where is the correct location to make these two buildings snap to each other and then have the same bottom area. So now we can just point. And you can see that. Wow. Right? You can see the red dashed line because the software knows that where is the correct area that you should draw the share line. So just very easy. Just find the area and then they have the same bottom area. No gap, no overlap. Perfect, right? So this is the example that after we drag the line, it becomes correct automatically. But let me show you another situation. For example, let me just drag the sidewall very exaggerate, okay? So definitely it's wrong, right? Okay, I will show you how I fix it. So no matter it's wrong, we can just find the correct location. So you can see that, again, because this side was very long, this side was short. So the software will tell you this building is higher. So the correct location is here. It's higher than the first border, right? And then you can just follow. Okay, you can just follow the red line. And then you can see that this building is higher. Okay, this building is higher. But finally, the software still can make you have the same bottom area, no gap, no overlap. But now actually, it's wrong, right? The height is wrong. The location is correct, but the height is wrong. So we just select and press the Alt, pressing the Alt, and then switch, right? And then just shift this line and find the correct bottom area. So it's here, okay? So no matter, even though you draw wrong, no matter, just follow the workflow, okay? So I will repeat that again. So first of all, we need to copy the direction to the second building, okay? And then after we copy the direction, we will drag the sidewall, we will drag the point to find the correct location, okay? We'll just to find the correct location. The software will tell you, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, and then they have the same bottom, no gap, no overlap, right? And then if the height is not correct, then finally you can adjust it, okay? No need to worry at all at the first place, okay? Always adjust the height after you find the correct bottom area, okay? So this copy and paste tool is very helpful when you're handling two buildings. They are not brother relationship, right? So when they have some errors, and they are not brother relationship, but you still want them to be brother relationship, then you need to use this copy paste and then drag point workflow to do that. Okay. Also, this tool is very helpful when you handle your neighbor buildings. For example, let us assume that this building is your left neighbor building. It has been passed by Judgicide, so appear on your image, okay? And you cannot change that. And now this is your building, okay? This is your building you finish. So basically, for a correct drawing, they should be at the same bottom area, right? They should be at the same bottom area and they have no gap, right? No overlap, no gap. So now it's obviously not correct. So for our old way, maybe people just try to snap to the point and then try to adjust the height, right? Actually, that's a way, but it will be very it's not that easy to do that, because if you have a lot of building that next to this building, right? If you do like that, then all of your next building will also need to adjust the sidewall. Actually, we can use our new tools to do this very quickly. So the copy and paste tool is not only applying for one single building. It can be applied to all your brother buildings as long as they are brother relationship. Okay. So now I want to copy this sidewall to these two buildings. Okay. These two buildings are brother. So I want to make all these three buildings as brothers. So I can just copy this building's height and then I can paste to this one or I can paste to this one. But both of them will change automatically altogether because they are brothers. So I just select this one and press 6. So you can see that both these two, their sideward direction change, right? And then now, I don't need to worry about this building at all, right? We just need to fix this building and this building, right? Oh, sorry, it's not, but I only need to fix this building based on this building. So as long as they have the same sidewall, right? Sidewall direction, then the software knows that you want to make them brother. So we can just drag the point to this building, right? You see that it has the red dashed line here to help you to find the correct parallel location. So I just can do like that, right? You can see that this is the parallel direction. So we can stop here. Now you can see that it has no gap, no overlap, right? So actually, this is a quite easy way to help you to handle with your neighbor if you have different sidewall direction. And you never need to reject the sidewall. And you can avoid a lot of mistakes, right? And also, you can draw a perfect, beautiful result. And you don't need to adjust other brothers, right? If I still have a lot of brothers here, actually I don't need to fix them at all. I just need to handle here, right? And the software will help you to make sure all of them have the same bottom areas. So, if your neighbor direction is correct, obviously you need to follow your neighbor, right? And you can use this way. But if your neighbor direction is wrong, your direction is correct, then you can report your neighbor's task. Okay? You can report from the system to from the software to retrieve the neighbor's task. Okay? If you this function was introduced long time ago in our other video. So if you don't know how to report by our software, then you can go to watch that video, okay? But if your neighbor has correct direction, then don't report, just fix your part. Another application of handling, of using the copy and paste tool to handling the neighbor issue is like this. So sometimes your neighbor passed the task and then you finish your building and there is a missing building there, right? And your building and your neighbor building has different sideward direction. So now the step is the same, okay? Always, the step is the same. Always to copy and paste the sideward direction to make them have potential of brother relationship, okay? Always copy and paste the sideward. Always make the sideward have same direction. So now I press 3 to copy, and then I press my building and press 6. So they have the same sideward direction. They are on the same bottom, right? Now, since they have the same direction now, we can use the trace tool to draw the missing building. Also, to make the missing building also is a brother of the two existing buildings. So I just use the trace tool and then trace my building, right? Trace my building here. And then you can see that the software will help you to find the location, the correct location of another brother, right? Based on your another brother's building. So we can just follow the red line, right? And now, okay, we finished the share line and then we can switch to the normal 2, and then finish the drawing. Now you can see that, right? The missing building also go to the same bottom area for both your neighbor building and your building, right? And your existing building. So you can draw the missing building so easy, right? Without any topology error. And the shape is perfect and beautiful, right? So the new tools help you to avoid a lot of issues and help you to easily draw it perfectly. Now we finished all the demos of the 3 main new tools, and now I will just show you some other new functions which are also very helpful for you to save a lot of your time. Okay, so for any building, if they have the shade line, okay, as long as they have the shade line, they can drag the sidewall all together. For example, this building, the big one, has a shade line with this building, right? The building in red means the building I never touch, right? It's a regional building. And any original building, if they have a shade line, then they are brother relationship already. So I can drag the sidewall all together. For example, you see, right? I just drag the sidewall for the big building, but also the neighbor also have the sidewall. Because the software know that they are brother relationship. So they must be on the same bottom. They must be on same layer. So the software will lock that, and then you have no worry to make mistake. Like this, I select the smaller brother, and I want to drag the sidewall. You can see that, right? Every brothers adjust the sidewall all together. That's super easy for you when you do adjustment for a kind of dense building with many components. And then the software will help you to lock the bottom area and make sure you don't have any chance to make mistake to draw overlap or draw the gap, okay? And how to draw the shade line? So the key thing is you need to have a shade line. The shade line come from 3 situations. One is use the trace tool. When you use the trace tool to draw the brother, then you have the shade line, okay? They are brother relationship. Another one is when you use the cutting tool. For example, if I use the cutting tool, they are also brother relationship, right? The software will know that they are brother because the cutting tool will guarantee that this is the shade line, okay? So if it just has a little gap, let me show you, then they are not brother relationship, right? So if you use a just normal drawing tool, it cannot guarantee that the line are shared line, right? They need to be totally the same line here. So they are not brother. But if you use the cutting tool, right? No matter how many you cut, software will know that these are all shared lines, so they are brothers. So you can see that I can keep their bottom area always on the same layer, okay? Always no gap, no overlap, okay? So that's the second situation to create a shade line. And the last situation is like this example. So this example, I didn't touch the building, so it always will be red, right? If you get a building that existing a cut, that means this line is a shade line, okay? It was created by the software. It already has a shade line here. So, again, when you want to make brother relationship, you need to use the cutting tool, they are brother relationship, or you use the trace tool to draw your brothers, okay? Those are also brother relationship. That's very important. If you want to activate the brother relationship, and then to let the software to help you, you only need to draw brother, like in this way, okay? So only the brother relationship will trigger the software to have those new fancy functions for you. Alright, let's do a quick summary of the new tools. So this part is the most important part in our video. So when we use the trace tool, that can help you to trigger the software to draw the brother relationship, and the software will give you a lot of will help you to avoid a lot of mistake. So always you need to use the trace tool to draw the shared line between your brother buildings, okay? And then for the second is the alt dragging tool. So when you want to adjust the height, when you want to adjust the sidewall, you can use alt dragging tool anytime. You don't need to redraw the building, okay? And then the third function is you can use the copy and paste sidewall direction from one building to another one. And it will help you to fix the gap between adjacent buildings when they have different sidewall. And it will help you to fix the gap between your building and your neighbor building when they have different sidewall. Okay, always use these two to make you draw perfect adjacent buildings. And then for some other functions, when you trigger the brother relationship, the software will help you to draw brother buildings and then make sure they're on the same bottom area. And if the buildings are under brother relationship, you can just sidewall for all the buildings at the same time. And also you don't need to degroup to fix any brother components if they have some shape errors. And also you don't need to degroup to use alt dragging tool when there's some height errors, okay? So that will be very helpful for you to draw the multi-layers, and also very helpful for you to fix any existing errors. Well, this is a quite long video, but yeah, and thank you so much for you if you watch here, okay? Hope you understand all the tools, and I believe that you can increase the speed a lot if you really use these tools and follow the workflow. So finally, I will give a very quick summary of the skills of how to increase your speed and accuracy by using these tools. Okay. So for our future project, most of the projects are the multi-layer building repair project. So it called repair project. That means many buildings are already good buildings. So always, okay, the first one, always try to repair existing building features if they are not that bad, okay? Always try to use the repair tool. So repair will be much more quicker than redrawing. Also, repair help you to just do very little edits on that building. So always use the repair tool, okay, when the building's not that bad. So the normal repair tool, the shortcut is Z, and the right angle repair tool, the shortcut is X. The second one, always use the trace tool to draw common and shared lines between brothers, okay? So this one I already highlight all the time in the video, okay? How cool of the software will help you to make you avoid mistakes and make you have perfect results and save a lot of time, and you don't need to drag the sidewall, right? The software will do all that for you as long as you use the trace tool. And always use the shortcuts to activate the tools. So for all the tools I mentioned in the video, and for all the tools that we often use in our projects, always use the shortcut, okay? Always use the shortcut. You will save you a lot of time to find tools, and you will save a lot of time to stop there, right? You need to pause there to find the tools and need to click on the toolbar. So don't click the toolbar, just use the shortcuts. So it will save you a lot of time, okay? Okay, the last one, redrawing the buildings always should be your last option, okay? That's so important again. So we compare a lot of tasks. If a people, they redraw all the buildings, they just earn much lower hourly rate because many buildings are not that bad and they redraw it. So they just waste those good buildings, okay? They waste the resources of those good buildings. We need to take advantages of the good buildings and don't touch it. Even though you have some kind of error, just repair it, okay? Just repair it. When it's totally wrong, then we can redraw. So that's the last option we can do, okay? I believe that if you can follow the rules, I believe you can increase the speed a lot, okay? You can increase the speed a lot. And then for the same time, you can finish more features and you can earn more. Why not do that, right? So just always try to use the repair tool, trace tool, and shortcuts to increase your speed, okay? Alright, so that's pretty much for this for this video. And if you have any questions then about the new function, and you can ask me or ask our managers. And we will also prepare more useful materials for you to help you to know how to use this tool for many different situations. And I hope you guys can really enjoy this new software and can increase a lot of your speed and accuracy. Okay, thank you guys.